Okay, I'm loading into the first game with my Esperian deck, my Bulwark Battalion deck. Oh, sick, I have turn 1 sneaking vacation. Against Mr. Raleigh, which is the capital of North Carolina. So, hopefully he has a really, really weak turn 1 so I can just jam sneaking vacation, get 3 Bs, and win the game. Man, I hate this card. It's just so hard to deal with. Like, if I were on the play, I could just jam it. If I get 1 B, it's really easy to deal with. If I get 2 Bs, it's very annoying. If I get 3 Bs, you're at such a huge disadvantage. Because if I'm on the play here and get 3 Bs, he plays 2 cards. I can definitely connect with 2 poison unless one of those creatures is a Gloomreaper Witch because all the Bs have mobility. And then you get 2 poison on them on your second turn, which means if the game goes to rank 3, that's what 1, 2, 3, 4 turns per rank, or 4 turns per. Actually, there's 8 turns per rank. So if you go to rank 3, 3 times 8 is 24. 24 times 2 is 48. That means you just got 48 free damage out of 1 card. If the game goes longer than that, it keeps going up. So he actually does have a Gloomreaper Witch, which is a really good level. Maybe he's looking into my soul and just has the read. I don't mind trading a Stinging Invocation for a Gloomreaper Witch, so I'm just going to play the Bulwark Battalion. Actually, let's go ahead and play the Stinging Invocation first. I don't really care if it pops up in front of the Gloomreaper as long as I get more than 1 B. Is this 2 Bs or 3 Bs? Okay, so I'm a total luck sack, and I got 3 Bs. What I'm going to do is play the Battalion here so my Bs have more movement. Even though I don't really want to give up the Battalion. I would rather keep it in play, but you can't always do that. So now I'm at least connecting with a 1B, unless he has another Gloomreaper Witch, or Palladium Wave. Palladium Wave or Group Meal is one of those cards that nullifies the Bs. That's still fine though, because it's such high upside. Him playing a Palladium Wave, a card that doesn't level, that card is really bad. Maybe he has another one. Maybe he's just going to get free value. Okay, so this card's actually really bad. If you draw it in rank 2, it's only a 6/10, which is not good at all. Okay, let's see. So let's move this B here. Get in for 2 poison, as discussed. We're gonna play Shardclaw Nexus Tactician, maybe? I could just go double Shardclaw. Or Shardclaw Ordnance Captain, that's probably better. Because this way I have formation with the Ordnance Captains. And if he plays another Restless Wanderers, I guess he gets me, but I'm not too worried about that. Because I feel like if he keeps playing Restless Wanderers, you have to draw them. Like in rank 2, you have to draw only Restless Wanderers, or you fall off so hard. Like if you just play a 6/10 and then pass the turn, pretty much every level 2 card I have is going to be able to deal with that. The reason I played the Ordnance Captain after combat was so I get the formation without replacing my own creature. I wanted to kill the Gloomreaper Witch and leave Ordnance Captains at 5/6, which is a lot better than getting in for 4 extra damage. The Bees have done their job. They don't need to be any more powerful than they already are. So there's the third Restless Wanderers, which shrinks my Shardclaw, and that is the reason I didn't put a creature in front of the second Wanderers. But he has another one, Contagion Fiend. Okay, so that kills my nothing. Okay. So I'm gonna play Bulwark Battalion in front of the Contagion Fiend because it's safe, and then play. I could actually play Palladium Pulse Mage here for free, which is a good chance to level this card. It just takes no damage because of the Bulwark Battalion. And there's a Restless Wanderers. I don't think I'm going to be able to attack with Ordnance Captain. It's only got 5 toughness. But I have a pretty good shot of attacking with the following turn with Hermes and Relentless Wanderers. Just really depends on how he blocks, I think. And if he just has Restless Wanderers in his deck, he might not even kill my Ordnance Captain, because it looks like the average power of creatures in his deck is around 3 so far. Though if he has a Gloomreaper Witch, so he could kill. If he has another Gloomreaper Witch, he could kill my Pulse Mage for free here, because it's only got 1 power thanks to the Contagion Fiend dying. Something I didn't consider last turn when I played it, but I think I would have played it anyway if I would have thought about it because it's a good opportunity to get it down. He has to have specifically Gloom Reaper Witch. If he has Cold a Week, I don't even care because it's a spell. The thing that makes Gloom Reaper Witch better than Cold a Week is that it's a creature. It can block and it can attack. Cold a Week cannot do either of those things. And then Palladium Pulse Mage is also good at just slowing down the game. And there's no chance I lose the long game because again I have 2 poison on him at rank 1. He's going to be taking damage. He has 2 Contagion Fiends? That card is really strong. I'm not sure why he's not killing the Ordnance Captain. I mean, this does kill it after a fashion, but it doesn't kill it right away. And I actually get crazy value off this Relentless Wanderers, because this dies and this dies. I can play my Spring Dryad here to guarantee the kill on that, and then play Relentless Wanderers. I can't play post-combat, I have to play pre-combat. Oh well. So I messed up a little there. Let's shrink the Contagion Lord so that my guy will trade for it if he wants to activate it. So I have to play this pre-combat because the Spring Dryad, even though I probably shouldn't have. I messed up with the Contagion Fiend because it gets -1/-1 now. That's still fine. I still get another Relentless Wanderers. He still has to deal with the Pulse Mage because it's giving raid to my other Relentless Wanderers, and I actually just drew the level 2 version right away. This isn't actually pressure at all. I should have just saved damage on my Ordnance Captain. Oh well. Wasn't thinking. I'm not too worried about his deck, honestly. He's played 2 Contagion Fiends. The only good card he plays is Contagion Lord. He has a Gloom Reaper Witch, which is good. That card's fine. At rank 2 and above. 2 Contagion Fiends. Those are both bad cards that only exist to slow me down. He can't slow me down because I've poisoned him. He's a billion. What's it called? It's Restless Wanderers. Or yeah, not a big deal. Again, because that card just exists to slow you down. Another card that exists to slow me down. Like he can't win late game if he's just relying on debuffing my creatures. He has to actually kill them at some point and then deal damage to me. If he can't do that, he's not going to do much. Like that's just what it comes down to. So Pulse Mage shrinks his guy, his Contagion Fiend. And then what do I want to do here? If I attack with 3 creatures here, I attack with this, and this. I can play Spring Dryad and Relentless Wanderers. This dies, this lives. Yeah, let's do that. I should probably replace the... Hold on, I'm trying to figure out what I'm replacing here. I'm actually probably replacing both Relentless Wanderers, so I guarantee another level 2 version rather than getting another level 1 version, because I believe it's random. I've tried it from left to right a couple times, and it doesn't work out the way I want it to all the time, so I'm just going to replace both of the raid creatures post-combat. I did that post-combat because I didn't want my... Actually, I have no idea why I did that post-combat. No real reason. I could have gotten extra damage on the Contagion Lord. Doesn't matter a whole lot. I even get Hive Empress here, so I give another guaranteed 2 poison. Put him up to 4 poison a turn. And then I can just block all his creatures all day, which are doing an astonishing 6 damage to me a turn. Gloom Reaper Witch is at 9/9. That's the largest level 2 creature he's played. Other than the Contagion Lord, which is an extremely strong creature. So he shrinks my Spring Dryad. I can pump that back up by, playing cards. Is he going to play another Restless Wanderers? No. Oh well. Barrier Soldier is a pretty good card to level. What I'm going to do here, I'm already attacking with 4 creatures, so I can play my... activate my Pulse Mage, shrink this guy, and then play a Hive Empress on top of the Pulse Mage, pumping my Dryad up by 2, and leaving a space for another Relentless Wanderers to spawn. I just want to replace the Pulse Mage because it's not as important as having another Relentless Wanderers in play. Okay, get another Wanderers. He gets 2 more poison. He's at 4 poison now, and I don't even think it matters what I do from here on out. He just has no pressure on me. I'm not saying defensive decks are bad, because you can definitely, build an Ixiom deck that like meta transfers and Gloom Reaper Witches and stuff like that. but you have to make sure your cards are good on their own. You can't just like Glim Reaper Witch used to be a 4/3. Even with meta transfer, it still wasn't good because it was a 4/3. Like it leveled up into a 9/8, I believe, and then it was a 14/13. That's just so much smaller than all the other cards on its level that it wasn't worth playing. Now it's a 5/5, so it's really good. I mean, not really good. It's decent on its own. It's like a little worse than Volcano Giant. But it has a huge upside if you get to shrink creatures with like Palladium Wave or something like that. Palladium Wave, Meta Transfer, Group Meal. So that's good. But if you're playing Relentless Wanderers, a card that only is really, really small, 3/5, 6/10, 10/14. These are atrocious stats. And if you're relying on this card, and you have to play more to make it good, if you don't draw them, like your card doesn't work, first off. And even if you do draw them, you're not even doing that much. So I'm going to attack, then... I want both of these 10/8s, so I'm going to discard Bulwark Battalion and discard Hermes. Because I don't want to replace any of my creatures, because I'm getting raid. So I literally did nothing that turn. I have a commanding lord position, which is how bad my opponents messed up. Contagion Fiend does nothing. A horrible stats, really bad ability. Pretty much only exists to nerf Contagion Lord. Like Contagion Lord would be so good if it didn't put Contagion Fiend in your deck. Fiend is not a good card at all. 2/5 that gives -1/-1 to your opponent's team. Nowhere near worth playing. The only time I've ever played it is if I didn't want to sacrifice my Contagion Lord to itself. I didn't have another Abomination on the board or my hand. Because it levels really poorly. Steel Spark Tinkerer, that card is also one of those cards that doesn't do anything. Okay, he's just dead. All I have to do is hit battle, pass the turn, hit battle, pass the turn. It's just like brain dead at this point. I can play an Ordnance Captain to pump my team. And then play a Bulwark Battalion. Yeah, sure, why not? I could have played it pre-combat, but you know, the time for thinking about this game is past like 4 turns ago, to be honest. As soon as I connected with 2 poison and he played 4 Restless Wanderers, I knew this game was over. Like, my cards are just on a completely different level than his. He has played 1 card I would consider a threat, and that's Contagion Lord, which only enables you to play further threats. It's a really good card on its own, 4/7, 9/12, which is huge, and a 14/17. Those are good stats. And its ability is really strong. If you can sacrifice an Abomination like Zithian, what's it called? The 7/8 that shrinks itself. Zithian Hulk, I think? Zithian Rot Fiend, that's what it's called. That card is a really big threat, really good blocker, kills almost anything. And then you have to like replace it, because it'll eventually die to your opponent just put creatures in front of it. It just dies on its own. So if you sacrifice that to Contagion Lord, you get a free play, which is huge. If you're only limited to 2 plays in Soulforge, but Contagion Lord extends your plays and gives you 50% extra plays, which makes it an astonishingly good card. It lets you level cards in Necrodium too by just playing them more. I don't know why opponent hasn't succeeded. Like, that card is very strong. The rest of the cards he's played have done nothing. I could just pass turn, he's dead. Okay. Oh, he died to poison. Okay, sweet. Well, sorry for harping on how bad my opponent's deck was, but it's like a learning thing, right? I want to explain why my opponent's deck is bad rather than just flaming him. And I don't blame him for drafting a bad deck, really. Like, you have to learn somehow. I taught my roommate how to play this game, and the first deck he drafted, this was in the first 2 sets, right? So I think it was just Alpha and Rise of the Forgeborn. And this was when all of the free cards were in the draft format, like Energy Surge, Contagion Surge. There was some other ones. There were 2 sets of free spells. It was like Contagion Surge, Energy Surge, and then there was Bursts. So I can't remember what there was a one that gives Spirit Torrent was the one that gives regen, and Power Torrent is the one that gives power. So he's like, okay, you're only limited to 2 spells in Soulforge, but these spells are free if you just draft them and play them once, because they're not free at level 1, but they're free at levels 2 and 3. You're just going to be able to overwhelm the board with your extra plays, right? This was his idea. It's pretty sound in theory, but what he didn't realize is that you can't play those cards at rank 1. They're just too bad. They don't do anything. Like Power Surge is probably the best one. It gives 3 power, I believe, at rank 1. Maybe only 2. It might only give 2 power at rank 1. So it's like you're playing this card that gives a creature 2 power, and you're giving up your whole play to do it in order to hopefully draw it in your next drink and have it be free, which you're playing on your underleveled creatures because you took the opportunity to level your free spells instead of your creatures last rank. And that was like a huge learning point for him. He's like, oh, these spells are all really bad. I can't afford to play them in rank 1 because my opponent just stomps me when he's playing creatures and I'm playing spells. And so that's like what this guy's doing, right? He drafted a bunch of really small control cards that don't work on their own. They only work together. And hopefully he realized that, oh, my opponent's playing a lot of creatures, and my creatures just can't compete with them. Maybe I should draft good cards and rely on the Gloom Reaper Witch synergy rather than completely spacing my deck around Restless Wanderers. And that's sort of the thing that you just learn playing Soulforge, which is why I was explaining why it was bad rather than just, this guy's deck's horrible. But anyway, that's a super long tangent. I probably spent more time talking about playing Soulforge than I actually did playing Soulforge. So let's just wrap this up, get off my soapbox, and go to the next round.